Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer a spring quarterly reading, doing a little check-in on the past 3 months and getting a little hint as to what's coming in the next 3. And this one is going to be for the element of Earth. Earth covers the zodiac signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So if you're Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, then this message is for you. And I'm kind of playing around with a new spread for this one. So we're going to look at what's went on in the last 3 months, what kind of energy you're bringing forward, and then we're going to take a peek as to what energy is going to be showing up, maybe some lessons or challenges in the next 3, and then we'll look at what doors are opening up, kind of gateways, opportunities, things like that. And then we'll take a peek at either an opportunity or challenge. There's cut 2 new decks I'm using. The last one, which is going to be the herbal astrology, is your opportunities or changes, kind of seeing what plant spirit is coming up for you. But we'll cut with the chit chat and get started with the main reading. Also, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and comment. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and impressions. Also, one fun thing I like to get feedback on, if you see something different in the cards than what I bring forward, because I read intuitively, feel free to leave it in the comments. It's always interesting to hear other people's opinions on such readings, because you never know what some other person might see that another person watching might need to hear. So it's always interesting to hear those little feedback tidbits. So with that, we will get started. So your first past card, so this is for the last 3 months, is the 6 of Water, Memories, Childhood, and Nostalgia. So this last 3 months for Earth, there's been a little bit of reflection, looking back to simpler times, we'll call it that, or rose-colored glasses type energy is the other one I'm hearing right now. And this is actually a healthy way to look at certain situations. So this last 3 months, you've been doing some reevaluating. You've been kind of checking in with source, being like, okay, so what was my purpose in this? What did I need to learn? So the last few 3 months or so for Earth have really been about checking in and getting clear, maybe even clearing out some energetic patterns is what I'm hearing. But it's all about remembering the past fondly, again, that rose-colored glasses imagery, but it's about getting clear on what you learned from that. And that's the part that is really valuable, because you may have had some challenges beforehand that you needed to work through, and now you're looking back going, okay, that's where I picked up that particular skill. And your second card, which this actually fits into that very well, is number 1, the Magician, Manifestation, Empowerment, and Preparedness. The Magician wields all 4 elemental energies. You've got your cup, you've got your wand, you've got your pentacle, and you've got your coin, and then you also have your sword, so earth, air, fire, and water. And when you understand what the 6 of Water was bringing forward, looking back, understanding these experiences, it's because you're the Magician now. This is the energy you're bringing forward. So your past, you've learned, you've expanded, you've understood what you learned from those challenges, and the Magician is saying, now you know how to use this skill. Now you know how to use this talent, because the Magician holds the knowledge of wielding these things. So your history is really actually interesting, because it's not saying, oh, these are both past. This is where you started, and this is what you're bringing into the moment. So this is really about being in this now point. The lessons that you have learned in the past have influenced and brought you here. So you're doing pretty good right now, Earth. Your immediate future, or your going forward, energy is the Queen of Earth, the first one. Gracious, practical, and capable. So this is your energy, and the Queen of Earth is also about stability. She's the mother who rules the house with a loving but a firm but loving fist. She is not going to put up with things because she knows the tricks. oh, I wasn't sneaking out of my bedroom. Yes, you were. That's why all the house doors were locked. Like, she knows the tricks that you're trying to play, but this energy coming forward is kind of your energy here because it's Earth, and it's saying, you already know the tricks that other people are playing, and you're okay with it. That's fine. You're going to be gracious, but you're also not going to put up with anyone's nonsense. You are someone who has stepped into their power going forward here, and you're ready to use those tools that the magician is bringing forward with you. And the Queen of Earth is really that energy of stepping into that divine feminine aspect of Earth, saying, oh no, we're not doing this. You're going to listen. This is how we're going to play this. So there's also a little bit of a leadership energy that I'm getting with this one. Your next card is the Eight of Earth. You have a lot of Earth going on here, which is great. You're Earth. It is education, focus, and the details. And so what we're seeing with this one is you've learned a great deal, but you're not done yet. And that's where you have to hold that focus and really get clear on what it is you want to create. Because you've learned lessons, you've understood where the lessons come from, you're stepping into a leadership role here with the Queen of Earth, and now it's time to understand what that means. And this is where the education of the past is allowing you to move into the future. But notice how each one of her coins or her plates, the Earth symbols, are different. They're unique. They're varying in complexity. They're varying in complication. This one here looks like she's still working on it. And that's where you're at, is you've gained a lot, Earth, but you're not quite finished yet. None of us are, by the way. That never happens. But this is the energy that you're getting for the next 3 months. So it's time to incorporate and really learn to use the skills or the talents that you had to go through challenges to earn. That magician is now standing into a higher role, but you also are still in the process of learning how to use this particular skill. And that's where those details devil's in the details type of a thing. So your last card for our future 3 months is the Six of Fire. Success, recognition, and self-esteem. This ties into that Queen of Earth energy. Bring her back up here. Because this is where you're at. This is the energy that you're bringing forward. You're not playing with nonsense. You already know you're going to step forward. You're going to be in your authority, the magician into the queen, but you also are getting the fire. So you're going to have more success and more interest in your particular passion set, the thing that you want to create, the thing that you have been kind of feeling led towards or driven towards in some cases. You're going to really succeed in this when you put that energy in the right direction. Notice she's had a few failings, so there might be some things that you aren't quite aren't quite right, so you have to cast them away, and that allows you to actually embrace the correct form. So, and if you've ever worked on art or a craft, something new that you've been wanting to try, like when I was younger, I was taught how to knit and crochet. Let me tell you, I will hand the knitting needles to anyone else, because that ain't happening. But I've also figured out there's a lot more complexity in my interest with crocheting. There's so much there. And the same thing happens with like spiritual studies. Some people are going to be really into one line of spiritual study. Others are going to go an entirely different route. And the Six of Fire is saying you're going to really get lined up with your particular passion in the next 3 months. If you haven't already attracted that and brought it into the fold, see what happens in the next 3 months, because something's coming in there for our Earth family, and it's feeling really good, but it's because you've learned some lessons in the past and you're willing to start using them. And that's where this future energy of the Queen of Earth and the Eight of Earth are coming in, because it's time to really understand what these lessons actually mean and how they play out. And that's what's going to trigger, bring in, or amplify the passion project that you're working towards. So that is going to be indicating or lining with the particular energy field that is opening for you, and that is the divine matrix, which is a powerful thing because you currently are this. You're the magician. You hold all 4 elements in balance and you can use them all, and that allows you to open doors. And this is your door. the divine matrix: interconnectedness, synchronicity, and God incidence. I love how they say that, because it's the coincidences that are done through the divine. That's this word right here, if my camera will focus. But what we're getting with this divine matrix is when you start to understand how your challenges have led you to where you're at, how these lessons have intertwined within yourself, opening you to a new experience, opening you to a new environment, that's when you realize the divine matrix. Each time a line crosses, that's a soul who woke up, is how I look at these. And when you're looking at it in that perspective, look how many shiny little lights there are in that. I mean, it's a matte card, but you can still see there's a lot of little dots. And when you understand that each time we level up, we enhance, that we bring the weave of life and the beauty of creation more into this world. And this is the energy that's being offered to you, is the divine matrix gateway. Your gateway, and this is what's on the other side. And this is where getting inflamed with this passion project or elevating it to the next level is so valuable to you, Earth. Excuse me, I cannot talk today. Weaving in this new lesson that you're using, which is the magician's aspect, is you learn to manipulate the energies and bring them all together, and that's when you create new things. That's that Queen of Earth. That's where you start to stand in this new authority, and you start to understand that you do have this ability. May not be the most comfortable thing when you first step out there, but you are getting there. And that's also where you get the aid of Earth. You're still learning, but you've got the focus to keep going. You have the curiosity and the drive to keep you. And that's where your 6 of fire comes in, because this is your drive. This is the self-esteem to say, you know what? I may not have this down yet, but I am not stopping, and I am going to keep working forward. And that's the value of what's happening in this next 3 months for you, Earth, is you're going to really start to understand more about yourself. This is no longer about other people's opinions, and you can still listen to them, don't get me wrong, but that's not your focus anymore, because you are stepping up, you are stepping forward, and it's your passion, your drive, and your divine curiosity that is going to move you into this higher state. So, with this new deck, which is our Herbal Astrology one, which is this little dude here. This is the little book that goes with it. We have number 55, dual numbers, or dual matching numbers, so angel numbers. And your energy is Palo Santo with the Guardian energy. This is an energy of opportunity, but it's also a reminder that the challenges that you faced, you were protected. You had to learn a lesson, don't get me wrong, but you were protected from failure at that time. It may not have felt like that, trust me, I know that feeling. But what's going on going forward is you still have that protection with you. That does not mean that you're going to walk away from everything without accident, everything without situation. It means that you're going to be protected if you learn the lesson. You're protected as you go through this, because God's source, and I'm going to be very blunt here, does not want to see you hurt. God's source does not want to see you fail. But God's source is not going to interfere with your choices. So if you're along down the path and you start wandering into a place you shouldn't be, you're going to start having the interesting challenges, which are the ones where it's pushing back on you and you're running into walls. It's because source is trying to keep you away from falling down the rabbit hole of darkness. And that's what's being offered to you, is this protection of pay attention. I'm not going to put you in situations that are going to harm you. You will be challenged. You will have to grow through these. But it's not permanent. It's just a gentle thing. And when you really understand that this energy becomes the smoke that fades away, so the challenge, literally, learn the lesson, the challenge goes away. And that's what's coming up here. But also, Palo Santo is a beautiful, pungent wood incense that is for protection. But it also brings in the positive energies. Like everyone knows, sage chases out the dark, but you can use frankincense, Palo Santo, myrrh. Those are to draw in the more positive energies. So it's a balancing act. So let's see what the little book says here. This is it's gifts from the past lives, activating dominant or dormant gifts, and connecting with the ancestors, guardians of the sacred, and the sacred trickster. So you might have a little bit of Loki popping up here too. But the other part with this, when we look at your past, you had to reflect on it, that Six of Water, where you had to reflect. You had to look back to the past to understand how you ended up where you're at now. That's what this was about, the memories, the childhood, the nostalgia, looking at the past in rose-colored glasses at times. Not always the best thing, but that's what this energy is calling forth, is when you remember your past, you understand that you've survived everything up to this point. So you're going to be fine going forward. You might have, you will have struggles, because I will not sugarcoat that for you. But that doesn't mean everything's over either. It just means, hey, you've got where you're at because you've went through this stuff. You've succeeded all these times. You may have slipped. You may have fallen. You may have face planted. Some of us do that frequently. But you are still going forward. And that's the beauty of this. So, the ritualistic burning of Palo Santo, which is sacred holy wood, can be traced back to the Incan Empire, where it was used for spiritual ceremonies to cleanse the body and space of all malignant darkness. It's used ritualistically today among indigenous communities throughout Central and South America to cleanse bad energies, bad air, and the evil eye. So you can use it for a lot of different things to help clear stuff out. It's also believed to be a kind of cold nighttime air, which clears out spiritual illnesses and negative spirits. And so this is another, it's kind of a healing thing. Again, this is not medical, this is spiritual stuff. Studies in modern science have shown that Palo Santo helps relieve stress and anxiety, and it stimulates circulation and reduces joint and muscle pain. It uplifts the mood and immune system. It also has been proven to clear space, dispel bacteria, and act as an insect repellent. Funny, sage has some similar properties there. So you really are getting called to clear out some space. If you're feeling heavy about your future going forward, or you're not sure about this divine matrix door that's opening, and you're like, am I doing the right thing? Maybe something along the lines of a ritual cleanse would be beneficial. Epsom salt bath with, the right candles just to set the mood. You can use sage if you don't want to turn your house into a smoke bomb. They make sage sprays as well, and you can do oil diffusers as another way to do it, where you're not fumigating the whole neighborhood. Because I love saging, but dude, smoke. Palo Santo is a protective wood and wand that grants the power of unlocking innate gifts that have laid dormant, inactive, or blocked. You're looking to your past. It is like the fox, and it's here to assist you as a spirit guide who helps navigate the spiritual world. So the fox is down here. That's the energy that's working with you, and that's where that trickster energy comes in a little bit, because it's time to really get clear on things going forward. And your astrological ruler, Pluto's on there? Where? Oh, it is. Up here in the very, very top, you can see the north node, and right next to it, right in front of the shadow there, I hate my camera right now, sorry, is the energy of Pluto. So you've got some mystery, but you also, Pluto has, in my meditations and personal workings, is a planet of protection and kind of the warning planet. Like something's going on, it's going to alert long before the other ones do because it's the furthest one out. And that's also ties into this energy. Fox are symbolic of the afterlife, the invisible, and sacred. Palo Santo neutralizes the venom of dark tricksters and alchemizes the poison into gold, becoming the sacred trickster. Palo Santo is here to remind you to activate your dormant gifts, which is what you've been doing in the past. So you've learned more about your spiritual gifts, you've moved forward with that, but you're now on the precipice of a new world. The divine matrix is opening. So the energy that I'm seeing this reading's coming up with for Earth is you've went through some stuff, given. You've actually started really reflecting on it in the last 3 months, which has allowed you to see how you've gotten to where you're at now. I know, not proper English, I'm fully aware, but it's allowed you to see, hey, I had to go through this to learn this. And now your future is offering you a couple of different entry points. And how are you going to play this through? How are you going to reflect upon this? And what steps are you going to take through the divine matrix? And when you're struggling, you feel dark, you feel down, you're not really feeling yourself, that's where Palo Santo is going to help out. This energy of protection, guidance, the mystery of life, but also the sacred fun. Sacred tricksters are there to trick you into doing the right thing. And so you've got that kind of energy coming in. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are, and if you have experienced some of this already. And if you watch this and come back to it later, let me know how things are playing out. This is an interesting energy that you have, Earth, and I really think you're going to do well with it. With that, I will let you guys and gals go. Have a great rest of your month and quarter, and I will see you in the next video.